Hey, viewers and viewesses, my name is General Red Strategist, and welcome back to So You're Being Hunted. This, something like episode 257 now, is it? Something like that, 257, 257, 8, somewhere around there. Should have probably checked before I started recording, but then again, you know what I'm like. Back here, of course, with the Spy Challenge, here on the South Island. We've actually got all the device pieces, so we could probably actually head straight back to the centre in that regard. Don't know why I saved at this point and didn't actually go back to the centre island. Now, get ourselves over there, and then we'll be in a good position to actually get cracking on with the task at hand. So of course, you remember the rules of this challenge. Obviously, everybody, I've got to play through the game as normal, getting all those device pieces, but I can't be seen by robots. And any robots that do lock on and identify me, I have to basically kill them. Otherwise, if they get away, challenge failed and all that. So I hope you guys, of course, I hope you're all doing very well out there watching this, and that you're enjoying the challenge so far. Certainly an interesting one. Had some good topics of conversation so far in this challenge, haven't we? It's been very, very interesting. Obviously, in the last episode, I was actually talking about academic essay writing, so I decided to actually just stick with the academic theme for a bit, because there's some interesting stuff that I could potentially talk about. So, obviously, as of when I record this video, it's getting towards late July. It's about 19th of July now, so maybe not quite late July, but, we're in that second half of the month, basically. And of course, thing is, given the upload schedule at the moment, by the time this video actually goes out, it'll probably be, I don't know, sometime in early August when this episode gets uploaded. Or maybe late July at the earliest, I don't know. Okay, right, put those in there, and we'll go to another island, so we went to the south. We'll head for the west one next, I think. Right, so, obviously, by the time this video goes out, it'll probably be late July at the earliest, more likely early August. Which will, of course, be interesting because it's that time of year when a lot of A-level students over here in the UK will probably have got they'll be getting some of their results. And as a result of that, they'll be finding out whether they have got into the universities of their choice to go on, study for undergraduate degrees and all that. Just got to watch out because there's fucking robots nearby. Oh god, that bloody... Oof, that guy nearly saw me. Jesus, that could have gone badly, couldn't it? It's fucking just robots everywhere around here, I don't like it. Should be proceeding with a bit more stealthiness. Certainly can't let the old landowner see me, because that would be a problem. Oh god, where is he though? That's the question. Uh-oh. This guy's over there. Okay, I'll talk about what I wanted to talk about in a second. Why don't we not go towards the West Island just yet, and maybe try for a different one. Might be a little bit easier. And there are fucking robots up there. There's poachers spawning by the sound of it. I'm sure I can hear one. Okay, what was I talking about? It's that time of year, like I say, here in the UK, where a lot of A-level students, sixth formers, they'll be getting their results from their exams and finding out whether, as a result of that, they are able to head to the universities of their choice. So, of course, quite a few of them will be thinking, what can I expect when I get to university level? Fucking robots just everywhere here. Someone friggin' see me? I don't know. I don't think they did see me. And I've just realised my fucking vitality is at nothing. Eat my can pie. There we go. Right, keep moving. That was close there. I think we were very close to failing the challenge. Okay, now can I get to my topic of conversation. So, a lot of sixth formers here in the UK will now be looking forward to heading off to university. And of course, the thing is, university is a very different kind of educational establishment to everything else that teenagers may have experienced so far. The thing about high school and sixth form here in the UK is, although certainly in sixth form and in the later years of GCSE and all that, there is an attempt to try and kind of encourage certain skills in students that will hopefully set them up in readiness for if they want to go on to university. Or sometimes I feel that at those kind of levels there is perhaps a tendency to maybe sort of spoon feed students with just information rather than necessarily developing certain skills. And what I thought would be interesting to talk about for this episode maybe would be some general tips for students who are, going on to university. What can they expect? What should they do? Things like that, to really kind of engage with their courses. So here's the thing about university, right? Here in the UK, a lot of UK universities charge you ridiculously high tuition fees, anything up to £9,000 a year, only to tell you to basically sod off to the library and go and, do loads of reading. Now, here's the thing, right? Obviously, yes, a part of studying for a university degree is all about kind of encouraging and developing your ability to research topics, complex topics, and actually learn about them independently. So yeah, what my first piece of advice to any student who's going to a university in the UK, especially if you're going to do a kind of social sciences subject, is to make the university library your second home. You must do a lot of reading. Usually the students who do well are the ones who do a lot of reading around their subject. So make that library your second home, without a shadow of a doubt. That's one thing I'd always recommend to every student. Get used to that kind of thing. If you're the sort of person, you're not really into reading, you find it a bit taxing, then honestly, I would question whether you should be at university, because there's a lot of reading involved. So there's that. But more than that, the thing is, typically at most universities for most courses, as a student, you'll do two kinds of things. You'll do lectures, or you'll go to lectures rather, which are your kind of traditional, very straightforward lecturer stands up in front of all the students and just gives you a load of information and you just take down notes. But usually the lectures just give you the kind of bare bones that you need in regards to your subject. They just give you the minimum detail, and they might set up kind of like a few key debates, a few key points, things like that. Then you'll have the seminars, which are kind of smaller classroom kind of activities. Now, I don't know about obviously things like science subjects, things like that. They probably have more like laboratory exercises, perhaps, stuff like that. But in social science disciplines like, politics and international relations, where I'm from, or history maybe, seminars tend to be more kind of discussion based. At least that's what I think most kind of seminar tutors aim for. And I mean, that's kind of the accepted pedagogy at the moment, is that the best way to get students to learn is through discussion-based activities. And of course, what that means is that as a student, you should kind of really prepare beforehand for seminars. Because the thing is, if you just turn up to a seminar with no kind of real preparation and just expect the seminar tutor to just, kind of give you a load of information and just tell you a load of stuff, then, to be honest, I would say you're not really getting anything out of it. Because that's not what seminars are meant to be for. Seminars are meant to be a means for you to actually discuss the subject matter with your fellow students and learn from each other. So, always, whenever you're going to a seminar, do preparation beforehand. Do the readings that have been set for that seminar. The core readings, as many as you can kind of cover. Any of the supplementary readings, if you can cover those as well, that's good. If you can also maybe go beyond the reading lists that have been set and actually look for materials of your own, that can also be very, very good. Because the thing is, the one thing that we really want to see as seminar tutors are students who really engage with the subject matter and come with kind of topics of interest, potential questions, things to debate. It's students who come with that kind of thing in mind. That's just really good. It's really what we like to see, because the more you engage with the seminar, probably the more you'll get out of it. So yeah, do preparation for the seminars, do the readings, make the library your second home. And when you're doing readings, there are several things to kind of bear in mind as you're kind of going through these materials, things that, you can be thinking about. So as you're reading, academic journal articles, academic books, things like that, think in terms of, okay, what are the key arguments that are being presented in this academic work? That way you'll get some kind of basic ideas about what certain scholars have already written on particular subjects, and think as well about how do they kind of justify their arguments that they're making. How strong are the arguments that are being made as well? That's another element. Because the thing is, it is really good when we see students kind of critically engaging with existing scholarship, and that doesn't mean necessarily, you have to completely challenge everything and disagree with everything you're reading, but it's just good because it shows that you've thought about whatever it is that you're looking at. You've actually considered, okay, are there strengths to this argument? Are there any potential weaknesses? How far can we kind of verify what's being written? And that's kind of, it's just a really good thing to do. So do the readings and, think about those kind of questions. Very, very helpful. What else is a good general advice for someone who's going to university in due course? Obviously, I've mentioned seminars, be very engaged with those, do the readings, things like that. Because, the kind of seminar tutor's worst case scenario is that, they'll get there, they'll start throwing out questions, raising topics of discussion, just trying to steer, provide a bit of guidance to the conversation. And the worst nightmare is then that the students all just kind of stare back at the tutor blankly because they've not really kind of engaged with the material. They've not really actually taken the time to do readings, to think about what's being presented to them, maybe devise some interesting points to discuss. And that kind of thing, like I say, that's the seminar tutor's worst nightmare. So, because when that happens, usually then it ends up with the seminar tutor just kind of dominating the discussion because they have to kind of carry things through. And that's not really what you want because, at the end of the day, if we were just going to rely on the seminar tutor to do all that, then effectively it just becomes kind of like a mini lecture, which is not really what it's meant to be. Yeah. So bear that in mind, prospective students looking at going to university. It's very, very helpful. Here's the thing, at the moment, kind of typical, like as I mentioned the word pedagogy a moment ago, so teaching practice, things like that. But at the moment, the kind of accepted pedagogy at university level is to kind of develop the student ability to kind of construct reasoned, well-evidenced arguments. And a big part of that is kind of getting them to talk with each other. Because the thing is, your seminar tutor, although they might be either a PhD holder or someone who's studying for a PhD, and therefore, they will be fairly knowledgeable, and they should hopefully have a sufficient knowledge of the subject overall to be able to kind of guide a seminar discussion. But you've got to remember that PhD holders and people who are studying for PhDs are not specialists in everything. They are typically specialists in very certain kind of specific topics related to the overall subject. So there'll be things, that they don't know, or there might be questions that they can't answer. But the whole idea of having a seminar is that if you have proper student engagement, and your students really do the readings, they come prepared, then the idea is you might not necessarily need the seminar tutor to know everything in order to be able to answer every question, because the students might be able to answer some questions for themselves without any need for someone to give them the answer for them. So there you go. So that's kind of the understanding of pedagogy. Another kind of idea, another of the big sort of ideas behind discussion-based teaching methods, like seminars of that kind, is also that, especially in UK universities today, you get a lot of student diversity, with a lot of students coming from overseas, students from various cultural backgrounds from across the UK. So the beauty of that is that, especially in a subject like politics and international relations, that kind of thing, you can get some really diverse perspectives on current issues in the world. And that's, one of the kind of things which a discussion-based approach to seminar tutoring is really meant to kind of bring out. So, it can kind of give students more of an appreciation for different perspectives in the world, things like that. So, make the most of it, students. But another kind of final piece of advice I would also have. Now, just a bit earlier in this video, I actually mentioned that here in the UK, tuition fees at the moment can be ridiculously high. And, we're talking, up to £9,000 per year, which, if you calculate all of that across the entire duration of a typical 3-year undergraduate degree, that's £27,000 worth of debt that you're going to get into as an undergraduate, and that's just for the tuition fees. That's not counting in, You know, if you have to take out a maintenance loan for your accommodation, anything like that. So what you kind of... have those robots disappeared? Have they? Oh, I don't know. I think they have. Ooh. Shit. Back off. Uh-oh. Hear those robots. Just back up, back up. Okay. Ooh, he's getting a bit close for comfort there, he is. Just keep backing up. Sorry, I'm just concentrating. Right. They'll go off in that direction now. That's good. Okay, so as I was saying, you know, because the maintenance and tuition fees at UK universities today can be so high, there's obviously that kind of whole debate going on at, you know, at the kind of higher education level at the moment here in the UK about whether students are, you know, are they getting value for money from universities? Because the thing is, the sad kind of thing about those high tuition fees is that increasingly universities today are seeing their students not just as students, but as customers. It's kind of like they're having to think like businesses. And so the problem is, you know, they're having to really kind of make sure they're providing a good student experience. And, you know, typically many courses might only have like a couple of lectures and seminars per week. And so there's that whole question about, well, on the academic side of things, are we providing that value for money? And here's the thing, what I would say, by way of a bit of advice about education at the university level, certainly here in the UK, and probably, you know, this is applicable probably to universities right across the world. If you want to get real value for money out of your undergraduate degree, you can't just rely on the lectures and seminars. You've got to go beyond those. Because the thing is, most universities today offer all kinds of stuff. They don't just offer, you know, lectures and seminars. They'll offer loads of other stuff beside that, like extracurricular activities, clubs and societies that you can join. Hell, back when I was at Lancaster University doing my PhD and doing a bit of part-time undergraduate teaching there, you know, I once said this to one of my seminar groups, but if, you know, the universities, apart from offering things like courses, lectures, seminars and societies, they'll also offer tons of other stuff, like, for example, work experience placement opportunities, exchange opportunities, career services, which will give you things like interview training, CV checking, all kinds of stuff. So if you really want to get value for money out of your undergraduate degree, take full advantage of all the things that your university offers. Don't just troll up to the lectures and seminars expecting that you'll get everything out of them. You know, don't get me wrong, the lectures and seminars are valuable, and you will go to them, but just bear in mind that they're not the only thing that will give you value for money at university, especially today with the high tuition fees that are often demanded. So yeah, and whilst you're at university, of course, take full time to network with your fellow students, get to know other people, get involved with clubs and societies. You know, go to your sort of mandatory lectures and seminars, and like I say, anything to do with careers, work placements, work experiences, career service, mock interviews, CV checking, anything like that, take the time to take advantage of it, because that way hopefully you will really get something out of it. So there you go, everyone. That's my kind of final piece of advice for anybody who is a student who is looking to start at university in about September, October-ish, which is when I think most undergraduate university courses here in the UK start out. There's a freaking dead robot here, dead poacher. Hello, hello. He must have been killed by the friggin' hunters. Pretty sure I heard him get slaughtered before. So there you go. So of course, you know, anyone watching this, if you are a student in the UK at the moment, doing your A-levels, or coming out of them just at the moment, and you're thinking about going on to university, let me know in the comments. Hopefully my advice has been of interest and of use to you. Because the thing is, you know, here in the UK, a lot of courses, the first year at undergraduate level, people see it as being a bit of a DOS year, i.e. something where the tasks and the things, you know, the tasks you're given are not too challenging, and there's a lot of partying involved, things like that, and, you know, by all means, enjoy your first year while it lasts, because, you know, you'll be making new friends, you'll be meeting new people, and so, you know, it is a really good opportunity just to have some fun. But, you know, do bear in mind that once you get to your second year, things are going to get a bit more intense in terms of the workload. At least I would imagine it will. So, in your first year, if you can kind of get some, you know, a feel for what to expect in that second year, then that can be a good thing. So, like I say, to kind of summarise some of my friggin' advice here. Oh god. Nope. Gosh. Oh god, I might have to kill some robots here. True. It's one down, there's another one around here somewhere. Oh god, they're coming as well. Nope. Right, he's down. Time to run away. There's two more coming. You didn't see anything. Squire, just by the sound of it, hasn't really got a proper view of me. Good lord. It's getting a bit hairy now, isn't it? At least we got our gun here. God, there's more fucking robots. I'm trying to get to this jetty. There's just fucking robots everywhere. What are they doing? Seriously. If we keep the ruins between myself and them. Still robots having a shootout somewhere by the sound of it. Get down. Trespasser? I think he may have identified me, possibly. Yep, he's seen me. Right, you as well. Get out of here, you bastards. This guy's been killed leaning up against the wall. Oh, lordy. It's amazing when I have to sort of concentrate, isn't it? Because I get so in the zone with this game sometimes. There we go, okay. Well, whilst we're heading back towards the jetty, which is now facing off in this direction, this island is a bit of a kind of weird shape, I must say. But we're getting there. We're getting closer and closer, I do think. Alright, so I think we'll start wrapping up here for this episode, because we've been recording for about 20 minutes or so there, or maybe just more than that, slightly over. So yes, hope you enjoyed this episode, everybody. Oh, bloody hell! Fucking pheasants just in the middle of the water, in the middle of the field even. Bloody hell. Where is this fucking jetty at? It's not saying it's over there. Where's the shape of this island? Where's my map? Oh, right, it's because it's a very weird fucking shape. I see it is. Damn it, it's off behind this bloody pub somewhere, isn't it? Right, hold on, we're nearly there. Okay, let's start wrapping up here. So if you're not doing so already, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter, links in the video description as always. If you're also interested in seeing me do anime-related content, go check out my General Propagandist channel, link also in the video description. What I meant to say was, sorry, links to all of these are in the video description. Because that sounded a bit weird, didn't it? Okay, but if you, if you enjoyed the video, do be sure to leave me a like and share it with your friends on Facebook, on Twitter. And if you're, like I say, if you're a student and you're going to be starting at university here in the UK in September or October, give me a heads up in the comments below if there's any questions you have. Maybe I can answer them, you never know, as a academic. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the episode then, everybody. But in the meantime, now that we're here at the jetty, I am going to sign off now. So thank you all once again, and goodbye, everybody. Damn it, this inventory really is not good, is it? God, this is like... What? Ooh! Fucking hell! God, that scared the shit out of me! No, no, you fucking don't, you son of a bitch. You fucking sharky ass. Sharky ass? What? Shark... Ooh, no, no, you bitch. It's a tiger shark. Fuck you. God, that music. I knew something was wrong as soon as I heard the fucking music. Still doing it now. Go, oh my god. Better patch myself up. No, you fucker. You've got hold of me. What the hell? I'm somehow riding a shark. What is going on?